Good Friday morning, everybody. This is Stephen Ray, and I want to give everybody just a little bit more time to jump on the stream here as we have a rather significant threat of severe storms a little bit later on this afternoon and this evening. And as you can see, that the Storm Prediction Center has now placed a good portion of southeast Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Arkansas in a moderate risk. That is a 4 out of 5 level for the potential of damaging straight line wind gusts, a few strong tornadoes possible, and isolated severe weather reports from hail. So, this is going to be a significant threat of severe weather across any of the areas that are in the red or the orange a little bit later on this afternoon and this evening. And so, real quick, I want to go in here and show you region by region what you can expect. And as you can see, once again, there is a moderate risk. Now I'm about to zoom in here and show you a closer look. And as you can see, Jonesboro, Arkansas, the northern extent of the Memphis metro area, Cape Girardeau, which is in Missouri, and then also Paducah, Kentucky, is now underneath a moderate risk of severe storms. And a moderate risk is a level 4 out of 5. The next one would be a high risk. And I kind of doubt that we're going to see a high risk, but a moderate risk means that there is the potential for a significant severe weather potential a little bit later on this afternoon, tonight, and then, of course, during the pre dawn hours in the morning. All right, so here is a closer look. If you were down there in the Arkansas area, if you were basically from the areas of Fort Smith off to the east, and this does include a Little Rock, Arkadelphia, Pine Bluff, Jonesboro, Arkansas, and places up there in far northeastern Arkansas, you can expect the potential for strong to damaging severe weather this afternoon and this evening. And once again, this does include the West Memphis and the Memphis metro area. And once again, there is a closer look at what you can expect area wise there in the moderate risk area: Dyersburg, Tennessee, Jonesboro, Arkansas, and the Memphis metro area is under that area as well. And the enhanced risk goes around that from Russellville and Little Rock to Pine Bluff down to Greenwood, Mississippi, Clarksdale, Senatoba, and Tupelo. Also included in this is the area of Oxford and the University of Ole Miss. So once again, if you were towards the Memphis metro area, you can expect to see the line of severe storms early this afternoon, but you're also expected to see the line of storms between 8 p.m. and 2 a.m. if you were over here from the Jonesboro, Arkansas area down to the Forest City area. If you were along the area right there along I-55, basically from Dyersburg to Jackson, Tennessee, over to Memphis, Tunica, and Clarksdale. Also included Oxford, 9 p.m. this evening until 3 a.m. in the morning. And then, of course, you're getting over here towards the Nashville area, Corinth, Tupelo, and Aberdeen, Mississippi, midnight to 6 a.m. And a couple of these storms, and especially any of those that get out ahead of the line of storms, can produce these strong tornadoes, which is EF3, EF4s, or bigger. So that is why we want you guys to take extra precaution and have a way of receiving warnings in the event that we have a nighttime tornado outbreak. And this unfortunately will be coming through a highly populated area such as Jonesboro, Memphis, Oxford, Mississippi, Jackson, Tennessee, Dyersburg, Tennessee, and places like that during the middle of the night into the pre-dawn hours. So this is why this is a significant threat of tornadoes tonight, and especially anybody that is in the orange shade or the red shaded areas. So once again, there is the areas of concern if you are further south into Mississippi, and basically from areas along the Highway 82 corridor and points off to the north and to the west. This includes Greenville, Greenwood, Tupelo, Oxford, Hernando, Tunica, Corinth, and Aberdeen, Mississippi. You guys are in the enhanced risk. Starkville, all the way down to Jackson and Natchez and Vicksburg. You guys are in the slight risk area. And then on a little bit further off to the south towards the Meridian Metro, you guys are in the marginal risk. And then general thunderstorms when we get down there closer to the coast, down there into the Pine Belt area of Mississippi. All right, so here is a closer look for you guys that are around the central, eastern, and western Mississippi area. Basically, if you were from Cleveland to Greenville to Greenwood and Hansborough, Louisiana, you can expect an enhanced risk of tornadoes, likely some possibly strong, which is not good news coming in the pre-dawn hours, and damaging winds upwards of 70 miles per hour. If you were basically around the Jackson, Mississippi metro area, down to Vicksburg, Yazoo City, Tupelo, Starkville, or Columbus, tornadoes possible, damaging winds upwards of 60 and hail up to the size of quarters. And a marginal risk is a little bit further off to the south, and tornadoes cannot be ruled out, damaging winds upwards of 60, and it is less likely the further south and east you go from this event. So that is the situation that we have ongoing. Now let's take a look at the portion of Alabama that is going to be under the gun, and it is basically going to be from Coleman County and points off to the north and to the west. So if you were in places like Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, places like Huntsville, Decatur, Coleman, Florence, Tuscumbia, Sheffield, you guys need to go on ahead and prepare for damaging straight line winds, tornadoes, and very, very large hail. So let me go back over here and show you the timeline of these severe storms when we get into the areas of Mississippi. If you were in the delta of Mississippi, your chances from 11 p.m. until 4 a.m. If you were along the I-55 corridor, which is in the central portion of the area in the yellow shaded area, 3 a.m. until 7 a.m. And then in the marginal risk, which is in the Pine Belt area of Mississippi, 6 a.m. until 11 a.m. is your time frame this afternoon and this evening. So once again, I think you can expect an outbreak of severe storms later today. And once again, there is your timing if you were in Jonesboro, Arkansas, or if you were in the Memphis metro area, also for Tunica, Clarksdale, Holly Springs, or Oxford, Mississippi. Dyersburg, Tennessee as well. You are right there along the I-55 corridor between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. And then, of course, a little bit further off to the south, midnight until 6 a.m. Now, there is also a threat of severe storms a little bit further off to the east that does include the Nashville area and the Murfreesboro, Tennessee area as well. And it looks like for that area, the timeline is going to be from 10 p.m. until 3 a.m. on Saturday. However, there's also going to be an additional line from 2 a.m. until 9 a.m. So there's going to be 2 rounds of storms for the Tennessee area, basically from Memphis all the way over to Nashville. The severe storms that get going later tonight between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. on Saturday, those are the ones that very well could have your larger tornadoes with them. And then the main line of storms is supposed to be between 2 a.m. and 9 a.m. in the morning hours. And the earlier round is expected to affect the orange areas, which does include the Nashville metro area all the way down to Lawrenceburg. And the later rounds will threaten everybody. And once again, there it is highlighted, strong tornadoes are possible with this setup. And as you can see from the National Weather Service in Nashville, there is a 2 to 3 out of 5 confidence for tornadoes. There is a 3 out of 5 confidence for damaging winds upwards of 60, and flash flooding is unlikely with this setup. So this very well could be a significant threat of severe weather. Now, for the people that are watching down here in the areas near Georgia and Florida, there is a threat of severe weather, the outside risk of an isolated severe storm on Saturday. And this does include Rome, Georgia, Columbus, Georgia, Macon, Georgia, Athens, Georgia, and Blairsville, Georgia as well, including the Atlanta metro area. But make sure you tune in to the Georgia Stormtrooper Network page over there on Facebook for the latest weather information involving Georgia. So that is the situation that we have ongoing right now. This is going to be a pretty significant weather day, basically from anybody south of St. Louis all the way down to the Memphis metro in the enhanced risk area and then the moderate risk area as well. And especially when the Weather Service hints at a few tornadoes, some possibly strong, that really gets my attention. And especially with this being an overnight event into the pre-dawn hours when everybody is sleeping. So I am begging you to please charge up all of your devices. Have multiple ways of receiving warnings. There's a NOAA weather radio, and of course your cell phone as well can update you with the latest weather information. This is going to be a very significant threat of tornadoes later this afternoon, this evening, and overnight. And so I really want you guys to please pay attention to the latest weather information, and especially if you are once again in the areas in the orange shade, or if you are in the red shade, you need to go on ahead now and prepare for a significant severe weather potential with a few long track strong tornadoes. And this is a large area that basically goes from Greenville, Mississippi, all the way north to Indianapolis, Indiana, and Lafayette, Indiana. So this is a large area of a severe weather potential later this afternoon and tonight. But if I am in the Memphis metro area, if I am in Jonesboro, Arkansas, Dyersburg, Tennessee, or if I'm in Jackson, Tennessee, I would go on ahead and prepare for a pretty rough night with these severe storms and the potential of a few long track, strong tornadoes during the pre-dawn hours. And I don't say that to scare anybody, but guys, you've got to know, with it being the holidays and with it being an overnight event, you need to be aware of what is coming at your location, because this very well could be a very impactful system. And it only takes one to be devastating. It only takes one tornado that to become devastating to you and your family, and especially if it goes down your block, over your town, or over your house. So this is a very significant threat Now, if you were down here in Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, the threat looks a little bit less and less as of right now, but that could change. But from everybody in the orange shaded area and the red shaded area, I want you guys to have a plan in place now. Get a plan in place and go now to be able to, if a warning happens for your area in the overnight hours, you will know exactly what to do in the event that we do have severe weather over your location. So you can expect more than likely in the red shaded areas and the orange shaded areas to be placed under a tornado watch later this evening and overnight. So prepare for severe weather and going ahead, and if you have a basement or if you have a storm shelter, going ahead and get it stocked and get it ready just in case you have to call to action under a tornado warning later this afternoon and this evening. So, guys, once again, I wanted to update you on the latest weather information. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sign off right now in a good portion of this thing. But for my friends in the state of Alabama, I am about to do an update for you guys. But once again, we will be here providing severe weather coverage as needed right here on social media. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday. And as always, from all of us here, God bless, stay safe, and stay abreast of the latest weather information this afternoon and this evening. And like I said, for everybody else that is in the Alabama area and the Alabama, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, I am about to go over what you can expect for the state of Alabama. So just bear with me here just a second. Good morning, Alabama stormtroopers and everybody that lives in the state of Alabama. Hope everybody is doing well just right before lunchtime. But I wanted to come on social media and let you guys know that there is a severe weather threat overnight tonight and into the pre-dawn hours in the morning for a good portion of North and West Alabama. Now, I did wanted to show the overall picture so that if you have any friends that are living or traveling towards the Memphis metro area, or if they're in the St. Louis area, or if they are in the Indianapolis area, you need to call them, you need to text them and let them know that there is a significant severe weather threat that is going to be possible this afternoon and tonight. And there is a closer look at the cities that are impacted in the severe weather area. And as you can see, this does include the areas from Little Rock all the way up to Indianapolis. But for us here in Alabama, this is going to be a overnight event. There you can see a closer look at what you can expect a little bit off to the north and to the west of the state of Alabama. But as you see up here towards the Florence area and towards the northwest corner of Alabama, there is a threat of severe weather and severe storms for you guys as well. And there, of course, is a closer look at the area of concern just off to the west over there. And if you're traveling to Tupelo, if you're traveling to Oxford, if you're traveling to Greenwood, Starkville, or any places over in the state of Mississippi, you just need to go on ahead and be ready for the event that we have severe weather later tonight. Now, here is the official graphic right now that includes the state of Alabama. And as you can see, Florence, Decatur, Huntsville, and points off to the north and to the west are underneath a risk of seeing severe weather. And this does include us here in Coleman County. Now, I think the severe weather is going to be less in Coleman County than it is going to be in Florence, but there is still a threat of severe weather nonetheless in the green, yellow, and orange shaded area for the northwest corner of the state of Alabama. And there you go. I'm going to actually zoom in here and show you that basically for the areas of Florence to Russellville to Decatur to Athens and over to Fayetteville, Tennessee, you guys are in the slight and the enhanced risk of severe storms this afternoon, this evening, and tonight. So that is the situation that we have ongoing. Now, this outlook is valid from 6 a.m. until 6 a.m. Friday until 6 a.m. on Saturday. But I think the most significant threat is going to come after 6 p.m. tonight until the pre-dawn hours in the morning. The first round is going to be containing damaging winds and tornadoes. Then on Saturday, there is another threat of severe weather, and even it's going to extend on into the 6 a.m. time frame on Sunday with damaging winds and tornadoes. So risk for strong to severe thunderstorms will increase across the region late tonight and continue through the early morning hours on Saturday afternoon. The main time frame for northwest Alabama, including the Huntsville metro area, is going to be from 4 a.m. until 2 p.m. tomorrow. But still, showers and thunderstorms are possible a little bit later on today in advance of the system as the atmosphere gets primed and ready for this severe weather potential. But I think the main thing is going to come after midnight tonight, and especially if you live in the Florence, Tuscumbia, Killen area, you need to go on ahead and have a plan in place just in case a couple of severe storms and tornadoes happen a little bit later on tonight and into the pre-dawn hours in the morning. Now, let's go a little bit further off to the south. And you can see that the slight risk does include the northwest corner of the state of Alabama and the Birmingham Weather Service DMA, which includes Lamar, Marion, Walker, Winston, Fayette, and Pickens counties. Now, in those counties, including Hamilton, Sulligent, Ewan, Winfield, Millport, Gordo, Reform, Fayette, Jasper, Cordova, or Dora, damaging winds upwards of 60 and a few tornadoes possible. For Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Gadsden, Anniston, Demopolis, Clanton, Selma, Alexander City, threats mentioned above are less likely but cannot be completely ruled out. Now, for the northwest corner up there for Lamar, Marion, Walker, Winston, Fayette, and Pickens counties, between 3 a.m. and 8 a.m. in the morning is your time frame. Along the 2059 corridor from Gadsden and Anniston all the way down to Tuscaloosa, Demopolis, and Utah and Livingston, 7 a.m. until 12 p.m. tomorrow. And if you were down there in southeast Alabama, you can expect to see it between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. tomorrow night. And another thing I do want to mention is as we get later and later in the time, we may see a risk be expanded down there for the counties near Montgomery, Auburn, Eufaula, Troy, Phoenix City, Andalusia, because as we get into the afternoon and the preheating hours of the day tomorrow, southeast Alabama does need to be looked and kept up with. But right now, for central Alabama, I think this is coming in at the perfect time during the coolest part of the day between 7 a.m. and 12 p.m. for a good portion of Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Gadsden, Anniston, Clanton, Demopolis, Selma. But I still want you to be on your guard just in case we do get a rogue severe thunderstorm or tornado warning in the green shaded area. But nonetheless, for our area here in Alabama, the most significant threat is going to be across this northwestern corner, basically from Florence, Decatur, Russellville, and the Huntsville metro area, and Madison, and points west. So this is not going to be a whole state of Alabama severe weather issue. I do think you're going to see a couple of isolated severe storms as far south as Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Gadsden, and Anniston. But the majority of it is going to be basically from the 2059 corridor and points off to the north and to the west as the most significant threat of severe weather. And once again, if you're just now joining us, if you have friends or loved ones in Little Rock, Arkansas, if you have any in Pine Bluff, if you have any in Jonesboro, if you have any in the Memphis metro area, anywhere around that area, if you have anybody in Jackson, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Clarksville, Tennessee, Paducah, Kentucky, St. Louis, Missouri, or if you have anybody in Springfield, Indianapolis, or Bloomington, please pick up the phone. Please call them, please send them an email or text them and let them know that there is a more significant weather threat to the west of Alabama that does include a good portion of Missouri, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Mississippi, and the entire state of Arkansas. So that is the situation that we have ongoing right now. And if you are down, once again, if you were down here in the southern portions of Alabama, we may actually have to watch for the potential of a few severe storms becoming likely tomorrow afternoon in the 12 to 6 p.m. time frame, and this does include a small portion basically from Montgomery to Auburn to Greenville to Troy to Dothan. But for right now, the most significant threat within the next 12 to 24 hours is going to be basically along the 2059 corridor, points north and points off to the west. And especially if you are here in the areas close to Holly Pond, Coleman, basically any of Coleman County. Coleman County is right here where I've got the cursor, and you guys are actually in the marginal risk, which means there is the outside shot of seeing an isolated severe storm as this line of storms continues to push on into Alabama. But I think if you were along the 2059 corridor or points near the Clanton, Talladega area, the Selma area, and Demopolis, I think we are hitting this at the perfect time for severe weather because it will be the coolest time of the day. But I do need to also caution you this afternoon and this evening, and then, of course, tomorrow as well, outside of the front, regardless of the severe storm's potential, there will be strong winds that will be coming out of the south, priming all of this area for severe weather. So I would not rule out the possibility of a couple of wind gusts 30 to 35 miles per hour, which will make travel difficult for high profile vehicles across North and West Alabama, all the state of Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Louisiana. So the winds are going to get really hairy this afternoon and this evening, and especially in the mountainous areas up there in northeast Alabama, could actually not rule out the possibility of a couple of 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So if you are traveling with a high-profile vehicle today, just note winds of 25 to 40 miles per hour are possible outside of thunderstorms that do happen this evening and overnight tonight. And as you can see, outside it is cloudy right now, and the air mass is really soupy and really humid right now. So here's the issue. Here's the issue. You could see a couple of showers and thunderstorms ahead of the main line, and a couple of this afternoon and this evening, but the most significant threat is going to come later this afternoon and this evening for a good portion of Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas, and places off to the north. So I'm going to go over here and see if you guys have any questions for me. Okay, let me answer this real quick. In any MCS storms forecasted, this is going to be an. Let me hold on. I don't want to see that screen. Hold on. Okay, the question was asked, any MCS storms forecasted? This is going to be a line of storms that is going to originate over Missouri and northwest Arkansas. And they're going to be individual supercells at the beginning and then converge into a long, what we like to call a long QLCS, which is the normal term is a squall line with damaging straight line winds and tornadoes embedded in the line. However, any storms that do fire out ahead of the main line will be the ones that can and will produce the strong tornadoes possible later this afternoon and this evening. But I do think the biggest tornado threat for Alabama is going to be in this far northern orange shaded area, which is a small sliver of northwest Alabama, including the Florence area and points off to the northwest. Now, I do think you could see a couple of severe storms and a few smaller tornadoes closer to Huntsville, Decatur. But as far as the strong tornadoes are possible, those are going to be across North Mississippi, West Tennessee, Northeast Arkansas, and the southeastern portion of Missouri. So the strongest tornado potential today is basically going to be anybody in the orange shaded area or the red shaded area, with a lesser threat of straight line winds and a few small tornadoes across the yellow shade and the green shade. So once again, if you have anybody in this larger shaded area in the orange or the red areas, send them a message, call them, text them, do whatever you got to do to let them know that there is a significant threat of severe weather later tonight and into the pre-dawn hours tomorrow. And the reason I keep hitting on that is because tornado outbreaks and tornadoes being on the ground at night when everybody is asleep and nobody knows about it, that can be a recipe for disaster. So make sure you have plenty of ways of receiving warnings. A NOAA weather radio and your iPhone will alert you for the latest weather information, and make sure you have multiple ways of receiving warnings. Make sure everything is charged up and ready to go. And if you have a storm shelter or a basement, go ahead and get it stocked and get a plan in place today and right now, just in case we have a couple of tornado warnings across the Tennessee Valley of Alabama later today, tonight, and during the pre-dawn hours in the morning here across a good portion of the Mid-South and the great state of Alabama. I will continue to update you guys on this threatening weather situation. And if any county comes underneath a tornado warning, we will be right here to provide severe weather coverage for you guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday. Keep it tuned right here to the Alabama Stormtroopers and, of course, my Facebook page and my Twitter page for all of the latest weather information. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Friday. You've got nothing to worry about until about after 10 o'clock tonight in the great state of Alabama. After 10 o'clock, things could turn south in a hurry. So just wanted to kind of give you guys an update. We will be updating any of the new graphics that come out with any of the new updates that come out from the Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service. Have a great rest of your afternoon. And as always, from all of us, God bless. Stay safe. We will get you through this because, guys, this will be fine. You will be fine. We will prevail. We will see tomorrow. And as always, God bless.